So check this out. So I invite my dad over to watch Star Trek First Contact, right?
First mistake.
Yeah. And there's reasons. And I he sits down. He's excited. He's tickled pink, if you will. And then he just says randomly to me, he goes, "You excited to see this again, bud?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "You haven't seen this since 1996." I was like, "What makes you think I haven't seen this since 1996?" He was like, "I remember. I took you and your brother to the Woodville Mall before it closed down to see this movie in 1996." And I go, "Dad, yeah. You don't remember what you had for breakfast today, but you remember that you took me to see First Contact in 1996 with my brother
Aw.
at the location." And he goes, "Well, I don't know, bud. You know,
He remembers
just
what
remembering,
he
bud.
remembers.
You know."
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another awesome episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Tonight kicks off our first episode of our retrospective series for this season. Of course, I came up with the title. It's called Sci-Fi Love I, all about sci-fi movies from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Chad, how the hell you doing?
I'm just so excited that it's sci-fi because I love sci-fi. I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
People actually hate sci-fi?
Yeah.
Are they real people or are they bots?
My wife.
NPCs? Is she a bot?
I think so sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, we all have moments.
My God. You mean to tell me all along that Gina was a fembot? Wait a tick. That means I'm single again. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This actually was a fight with Eric and I behind the scenes because I always come up with the list. He comes up with a list of the theme. Like, that's how we always do this, right? So I come up with the name of the theme first before there's any movies. And then we're like, okay, we like this idea. So then if we like that idea, we're going to do a top 3 name list, right? And then after that, then we start cherry picking movies. Like, what movies do we want to do in this list? We never spoil the list for the audience throughout the year because we don't know. It could change, right? Like, there could be a movie on that we have on the list that we just can't find nowhere, right? So we don't want to get people's hopes up. So I'm not going to announce all the movies, of course. But tonight we're doing Star Trek First Contact. And right 100% off the bat, I am not a Star Trek guy. I have seen all the movies once, and I don't go back. It is not a franchise for me, but I do respect the franchise. Like, I respect Next Generation. How about this? I just respect everything of it.
Okay.
Just not my thing, though. Where are you with Star Trek?
So, at my core, and I have to give my context on adjacent things before I can address Star Trek.
Oh.
I was a Star Wars person first.
Everybody is.
But I love Star Trek in a different way. I have an emotional attachment to Star Wars. I have more of an appreciation for Star Trek because I think they're two totally different things. I think people who don't appreciate, I'll say nerdy movies or however they want to classify them, will just say they're the exact same thing, and then people like us who are like, "What? Are you kidding me?"
They're not.
I remember, and I wouldn't consider my dad, into like nerdy, dorky kind of things like Star Trek, but I remember him watching Next Generation a lot on TV, and that's what got me interested in it. And from there, I mean, I caught bits and pieces of the movies through the years, at least the old ones, with William Shatner, and then the new series, and then the Chris Pine movies. Kind of 3 eras of movies there, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, so this one's going to kick off our Sci-Fi Love I retrospective. There was another one, second place. Again, this is based off the theme before we get into Star Trek. The winner was Sci-Fi Love I, but do you want to know what second place runner-up was?
What's that?
For shizzle my 2000s, y'all. Do you like that?
And what was that going to cover?
It was this idea. So it was like for shizzle 2000, so like 2000s. So like the Fast and Furious, Joyride, just movies in the 2000s. Like I can't think right off the top of my head, but like big like bro action movies in the early 2000s, 2010. Matrix would be one of them, right? But we've never done disaster movies. We've never done so that's always been on the list. We've never done monster movies. That's been on the list. And one thing that I've always wanted to do that we never done was like a decade list, right? So I was born in 1987. Eric was born in 1984. So a list that I wanted to do was what were the top 5 movies in 1987 and what were the top 5 movies in 1984.
Okay.
But yeah, so the list is going to always grow. But yeah, for Shizzle 2000, y'all.
When we decide to do the disaster movie series, I'm 100% down. That's my jam.
Perfect. Yeah, we can watch Deep Rising. No, that's a monster movie. Poseidon is what I'm thinking of. Right? No. Twister? We already reviewed Twister. We already reviewed Twister.
Deep Impact and what was the other one that came out around then? Bruce Willis.
Armageddon.
Yeah, Armageddon. Don't want to close my eyes.
Don't want to fall asleep.
Cool.
Look at that. We were synced up there for a second.
For just a brief moment in time.
Never going to happen again. Yeah. So Star Trek. So yes, I do respect the series, the franchise, just not my bag, baby. But I know my dad's a Trekkie, and I called my dad over, and I was like, hey, why don't you come watch this with me? Because I got to review it. And I think as soon as I said, why don't you come over, the doorbell rang. He flew right over. And he got his Diet Pepsi. He put his feet up on the couch, and he was bought hook, line, and sinker. He was ready to watch this movie. I don't remember seeing this movie. He said I saw this with him in 1996, so I was 9. I was our kid's age. So I went to this completely cold. I didn't watch a trailer, didn't read anything up on it. Don't know anything besides this was number 2 in the Next Generation franchise, right? Because you had... The first one was Generations, and then this one, and then after that was what? Insurrection and then Nemesis, which I would say it gets worse, right? Like the Picard movies kind of get worse as they go along.
I'm looking. Nemesis was 2002. Generations was 94.
This was 96.
Was like 96.
This was 96, and then Insurrection was like 98, 99, like around there.
Oh, that's weird. I don't see Insurrection. Oh, yeah, there it is. 98.
It was 98? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, I went into this completely blind. I had no idea what First Contact was. I actually confused this one with Generations. I thought this was the one with William Shatner in it.
Oh. Got it.
Hence the name First Contact,
Yeah.
But so that's it with me and Star Trek. Have you seen this before?
I don't remember ever seeing this one.
Oh, so you and I both are going to this one cold.
This was the first time I've seen this one.
First time ever seen it?
I think Generations may be the one that I have seen a couple of times.
So, okay, so for this one, you never seen scenes on YouTube or maybe something on TV. You went to this thing blind.
Yeah, there was not a single piece of it where I was like, oh, that's crazy. I remember that. Nope. Very new, fresh look.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going through this with fresh eyes. Usually, with these retrospective series that we do, we've already seen these movies, but evidently I saw this 30 years ago. But we're talking about Generation. A little bit different review here, Chad. I guess I should have told you during our pre-show, but for our retrospective series episodes, we don't go beat by beat like we do with a traditional review, right? Because we are under the impression that people that are listening to this episode have already seen this movie because it's older,
Okay.
right? So we kind of go over the highlights, right? We don't really follow a cadence like we usually do in the other episodes, right? Okay?
Yeah.
So we just talk
Right.
about things right off the bat, just kind of get it out there. It's a little different, spice it up a different bit. But what is always fun with Star Trek is the villains. I want to talk about them right off the bat. The Borg, my favorite of the villains, by the way. My dad showed me the first episode of the Borg in the Next Generation. I always like this concept of the Borg. Is this your first time ever hearing them, seeing them? Like,
No, this is not my first time seeing the Borg.
okay. So where are they at then? Well, like the Next Generation shows, are they in the other shows?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
Outside of Next Generation.
Okay. So you've seen the Borg before.
Yes.
This is the first time that we see the Borg Queen, though.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And
Knowledge.
I dig it. I dig the Borg Queen. She's fun. But what was really fun, though, is knowing more of the history, right? So it was great that my dad was watching with me because he was giving me a bunch of knowledge. And he was like, so, Borg Queen dies at the end of this movie, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Borg Queen's dead. So that means the Borg's dead. He goes, no. She's not the actual queen. So this is what my dad's telling me. And I don't know if this knowledge is for you as well. I don't know if you know this. He was telling me that she's the Borg Queen, but she was just a body, right? The Borg Queen is an entity that's in the Delta Quadrant that's controlling everything. So this body is not actually, it's the Borg Queen, but it's not the physical Borg Queen.
It's just like a manifestation of, like a
Yeah.
representative of. Okay.
That's what he was telling me. So like that's cool. So this story is actually pretty cut dry, right? It is Picard and crew are on a mission, right? And the Borg is attacking Earth, right, or around Earth, like out in space.
Yes.
And then they chase the Borg. The Borg then do time travel, right? Go forward in time, which I actually think the special effects in this movie is pretty legit for 1996. I'm not dogging on the effects. And they saw Earth, right? Because one of the things I want to comment on is when they're traveling through time and you see Earth, you see it now, and then you see it in the future where the Borg took over. And I was like, oh my God, this looks robotic. That looks great. And do they go back to the year 2063 where they're going to meet a guy who creates warp speed. This guy creates warp speed, and because he creates warp speed, it gets the attention of the Vulcans. So they have to make sure that this guy continues to make warp speed. That's the basic plot of this movie.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I like this concept.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, nothing distracts the timeline until they travel back and that Borg ship fires on their little base on Earth
Right.
in the year 2063, and that's why they have to go down. So like, oh shoot, that's where this guy is, and this fella's history to all of them, all of the Star Trek crew, all of the crew of the Enterprise. They've all studied it. This is all like Star History 101 on this day, which that day actually happens to be my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, Dad, on the day that they travel back in time.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, April 4th, the day they get there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, here we go. Here's our little Star Trek friends interfering with time. They like to time travel in these Star Trek movies.
Well, they have to, right? Because there's only so much story you can tell.
Yeah, multiple times.
Um,
They're breaking. Somewhere, Doc Brown is having a panic attack about how they're interrupting space-time continuum.
Right. One thing that I do find unbelievable in this movie is the guy which we have seen this actor numerous times. The guy who plays, the history guy that does warp speed. We've seen this dude hundreds of times, but he is so unbelievable as a character. It really took me out of it. Now, I know we're watching Star Trek, and I'm just supposed to go with it, but what a mind flare is that up, right? It's like humans, aliens come down and are like, hey, man, we know you're creating warp speed. You need to do that because you're in all the history books, and we know all about you, and we know all your quotes. And he's just like, all right, give me a drink. Like, doesn't question anything, right? Just kind of just goes with the flow.
Yeah. And maybe it's a limitation of the casting of the time, because I remember him for all the things that he we're talking about James Cromwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the things that he was in after probably this movie that we know him for. So he was the warden in The Longest Yard. He actually was the main warden in The Green Mile. Also, he was the doctor in I, Robot. Just to name a couple of things. And yeah, it's kind of this weird juxtaposition between him as an older actor who plays very serious roles, but he's this drunk in this sci-fi movie who also invented warp speed.
Which though may not be on the movie's detriment or the character's detriment, though, because you have to be crazy in order to come up with this idea, because we find out that the world is recovering from World War III. There's hardly any government. There's this factions of people, a la Fallout kind of world, right? And this guy gets the technology to they're at a missile silo base, essentially. They meaning these villagers have built a village around this silo base, and he took a nuclear warhead, gutted it, and made it into a rocket.
Yeah, I love the premise.
I think it's a great idea.
In this world that's fallen apart, and they're trying to do something to bring it back together. Because obviously it's symbolic too, right? It's not just, hey, we're trying to do this thing, but hey, what we have left, we're trying to do something special with it. Okay, I can get behind that. I like that idealistic world.
Yeah, because this movie was remade today. I would want to see more of this world, and I think they could. They were clearly limited on what they had, but I was really wanting to see more of what the world was after World War III. Like, all we see is the forest. And they're in Montana, I think, too? Which, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense if you're going to experience any part of World War III, you're in the major cities, right? So why not Montana out in the middle of nowhere?
Well, I guess lead to that. You know what I mean? Like, have him be, this crazy, wacky mad scientist that people in like New York or LA or somewhere are like, dude, you're crazy. You're not going to get warp speed, and they kick him out, right? And then he, like we see that, right? And then he travels to Montana to build what he's going to build, right? Just get more character of him, because all we know him is as a drunk. There's no character development. He doesn't change. He's A, and he ends as A.
Right.
Besides the end, when I can't do the thing.
Yeah, I love that, by the way. He couldn't do the V, the Vulcan hello, the V with his hand. He just kind of gave up and did try to shake his hand.
Didn't he also say, like, make the Star Trek joke? He was like, this is like some sort of Star Trek. That was him, I think. I missed that. Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. It was really funny.
A pun before puns.
Yes. So while this is going on, the Borg has infiltrated the Enterprise. And Jean-Luc Picard was captured by the Borg in the TV show seasons prior. So he's one of the only few that have been de-simulated. He became human again. Right?
Yeah.
And now he knows everything about the Borg. So the Borg has infiltrated the spaceship. And again, I have a lot of questions about the Borg. So, like, there are scenes where the Borg are just, like, mindless robots. And, like, Jean-Luc Picard and his crew will be like, don't shoot him. Just walk around him. because they don't see you as a threat. I was like, really? Okay, And then eventually somebody does something stupid, and then they see him as a threat. And also, one other thing that's kind of cool about the Borg, is that you can shoot them with a couple of bullets, but then they adjust to it to where that doesn't affect them anymore. That's a cool superpower.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You have this ability to adapt to your threats. Which
I-
normally in any kind of storytelling, you're seeing the main character, the protagonist, develop and adapt to whatever the challenge is over the course of the story. Nope, let's flip that on its head. Let's give that power to the bad guys in this flick. Sweet.
Which is fine, because I think this movie's all about the Borg. I mean, like, that was such a popular storyline in the show, so they got to bring it for this one. I don't think the Borg has been in any of the movies since. I mean, like, this TV show, sure, but not the movies. So again, the Borg has infiltrated. The Borg Queen is on the Enterprise, and her goal is to get data which again, great concept, is to get data and start slowly putting living tissue over his exoskeleton, Terminator reference, to become human.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's a great, because that's his overall arc for his character through all of Star Trek, is going from an android to becoming more human-like. And I mean, it's kind of Ozian, to harken back to Wicked. If only I had a brain. But here we are
Gravity.
in this other show, and like I said, it's just character development. This is universe building before that was really thought of by DC or Marvel or anybody. Like, here we are in the mid 90s. We're like, all right, let's talk about the character arc for not our main character, but Data, and how he's developed and where he would go and how his character would develop during this one movie. Go. And here they are doing it.
Don't disagree with you, but now this is where I start my gripes, right? I've been praising a lot of things, but I fell asleep in this movie twice. And what I mean by I fell asleep, I kind of dozed. I was watching the movie, and my left eye started to get a little heavy, and then my head goes down and go, up, and then I start watching the movie, and like half an hour later, start to droop again. I like the ideas. I like the story, right? The story is very interesting. This movie's so damn boring. This is a very dry movie for me. And I like dry. I love Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I would rather watch Blade Runner than this one. This is really boring.
I understand. I think maybe it's pacing. I think maybe because there's a lot going on story wise.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's similar to some of the Star Wars movies, where you have, in the final part of the movie, you have these three fronts. There's usually the Jedi fight, whatever that's going on, some kind of star fighter fight, and then you have the fight on the ground, right? There's like these three fronts of the movie. So one front of the movie is down on the ground, and then the other two are on the ship between Jean-Luc Picard and Lily, who I love. She's great. She's a great addition during this.
Who?
Their interactions. Lily is the compatriot of James Cromwell that comes up. They bring her because she's like knocked unconscious. They're trying to get her care, and then she gets involved. She's the one who talks them into abandoning ship at the end of the movie.
Right. Thank you for the refresher.
Yeah. And then you have just the Borg and their assimilation of all the little groups that are trying to run around the ship and protect the ship. There's a lot going on if you can keep track of it. I think where I maybe struggled is trying to watch it in the context of the time. I had to keep telling myself that, and that's what kept me engaged, because it doesn't really stand up against anything that we have modern, movie wise and storytelling wise. Because movies have changed so much in 30 years,
right?
But that's what kept me engaged. Not to take a pun from Jean-Luc Picard, but
Well, because there's two movies here, right? So like that is also a positive for this movie because if this was redone today, one of these stories would be the story. There would be none of the other. So like if they would remake this, it would just be the Borg on the ship fighting, very alien-esque, right? That kind of story. The second story, the second movie would be them on Earth fighting other factions, right? Of people trying to get the rocket so he can, so they could be the first people to do warp speed, right? Like you could do that as a story. So I do like that they compiled it into one. It's just I actually cared more of the warp speed story more than the Borg story. And I'm shocked that I'm saying that because I do like the Borg. But the warp speed story is more fun for me.
sure, I can understand that. I actually, respectfully, I think they both need each other because I think it's a pretty boring. I think it's a pretty boring movie if you just have one. You kind of have to have this. It's a race. Honestly, it's a race between two stories, and because they both have to get done. The guys in space have to take care of the Borg, and the guys on the ground have to get the guy in the ship. The crew on the ground have to get the fella in the ship, and the pinnacle is when they look out the window in the new spaceship and they see the Enterprise and they're like, oh, they're just coming to see us off. When they have just no idea, they've gone through this struggle with James Cromwell's character on the ground, just getting him in the ship, and he tried to run away and all that. And then here they are; they finally are doing warp speed, and yet the Borg Queen is firing on their little spaceship.
Which she missed. Well, Data missed.
Data, yeah.
This is a very obscure reference, but South
I
Park.
can't wait.
Okay. So I used to be a fan of South Park. Not so much anymore. That's been a very popular thing, right? Us fans are no longer fans like they used to be. And South Park is just like Simpsons, right? Where they're so enthralled with pop culture and references that you're not going to get every single one, right? There's just no way, right? Well, last night I'm watching this movie, and there was a South Park reference there was a reference in South Park about this movie that I completely forgot about. I can't tell you the episode of South Park. I'm sure you can Google it. But there's an episode in South Park where Stan's talking to Randy, and Randy's being Randy. And Randy just says no, and Stan says, no, we have to do this. And Randy says no, and does a weird yell, turns and throws his head through the glass. That's exactly the scene where that lady's talking to Jean-Luc Picard about abandoning ship.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where she was, I mean, like YouTube this clip. It's hilarious because she's like, we have to go, and he's like, no, out of nowhere, it just like hits the glass with a gun. I'm just like, that came out, and I start laughing, and my dad looks at me like I'm weird, and he's like, what's so funny? I was like, that. I finally, after all these years, know what the reference is, and he's like, what? Nothing. Never mind. I mean, I'm just saying it because I think it's funny. I thought that was a very out of place scene. The best scene in the movie. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to jump in on that one.
Please.
I think that's their attempt to pull out emotion in an otherwise like very linear story and factual story, because they're trying to call back to his time as the Borg and what that felt like. And Jean-Luc, to me, is this character. They want you to be emotionally invested in him, and it's kind of awkward because I don't know if it's the actor or Patrick Stewart's great, but I don't know if it's his delivery or what, because he's a little bit of a ladies' man in Star Trek, which is hilarious to me. They try to make him out though like he's this warm person, but also this leader, and I don't know. That's always been my challenge with Picard, but I think it's just a scene they tried to pull out emotion and it landed awkwardly.
So to sound absolutely crazy and be wrong, but God bless opinions, everybody has it, is Patrick Stewart is a great actor, right? We love him, right? But I don't know. I think because I have seen him act way better than this, right? So maybe he's just phoning it in. Maybe he's one of those guys where he's an actor, right? And he's just like, yeah, I have this contract with Star Trek. I guess I'll go so I can buy my wife a new car. You know what I mean? Like, because he's not good in this movie. I mean, nobody's really good in this movie, which I'm surprised on with some of the actors that they have. I mean, Patrick Stewart is great, and he was not good in this movie. He was terrible. No emotion, very weak. I didn't want to follow him. He seemed like he was on a suicide mission. He was also taking innocent Starfleet people with him too, right, to their death. Not a very good character.
Well, and I think this is probably why, as people who've never seen this movie before, and maybe we aren't as big of fans of Star Trek as actual Trekkies are,
Sure.
because they're going to be the ones that tell us. But you're not engaged in his story. Like
Sure.
we can relate with Data, and because we know how his story is going through most of Star Trek, just this android trying to become human. We're not as invested in Picard. Like he's the leader. He's the one that's getting the screen time, and unless we've seen every little bit of Star Trek, I don't think we're going to have the same appreciation that maybe the Trekkies do of what they do with his character. Not just in First Contact, but probably the other ones.
Well, this movie's huge for Trekkies. I mean, like, if you ask my dad if he's a Trekkie, he's going to say, "What does that even mean?" Like, you know what I mean? My dad's been watching Star Trek since it came out as a show in the 60s. Like he just watches the shows. But the dude knows his history. I'm like, if you want to know Star Trek, ask him. And then I fact check him when I watch the movie, and the dude's right. 100%. I'll give you an example. At the end of the movie, the Vulcans come down, right? And dude tries to live long and prosper thing, And I was like, hey, Dad, wouldn't that be really cool if that was like Spock's like great-great-grandfather? And he's like, it is. I was like, what? And I fact checked it, and it is. The Vulcan is Spock's great-grandfather. So I think...
Wait, Spock
yeah.
is before them.
No?
Oh wait, no, that's right. I forgot about the time travel.
Right, there you go.
No.
The time, yes,
No.
yes. The time travel, don't forget about that.
Sorry, I got lost in the space-time continuum there for a minute.
You're okay? You're brought back? Because you were silent for a second. I think you were thinking, no, yeah. So that is Spock. And I was just like, how do you know these things? Like, you don't know how you put your pants on today, and you know this. It's amazing. I'm jealous. But, yeah.
I wanted to understand First Contact in the context of all the other Star Trek movies that were released.
Okay.
Like, I think I like the Chris Pine movies. They're J.J. Abrams. There's a touch to them that I like. I appreciate. A lot of lens flare, maybe too much lens flare for my care.
A little bit.
Little Transformers-esque, but take a wild guess, and you're going to go on the honor system, where Star Trek First Contact comes out in Rotten Tomatoes rankings of all Star Trek movies ever.
I'm going to say in the 90s. 95.
Okay, but in all of the Star Trek, like...
Yeah, 95.
Is it...
Fifth. Oh,
is it 10th? Is it last place out of all Star Trek movies ever?
Can I get a hint here? Can I just go? Can I ask if it's top 5?
It's top 5.
All right, so it's number 3.
Number 2.
Oh, really? So number 1 is probably Wrath of Khan or Search for Spock.
Nope. Number 1 is the reboot with J.J. Abrams in 2009.
And this is number 2.
And number 2, and that one is a 94. First Contact's a 93, and then Star Trek Beyond, the third one of that reboot series, is number 3. Like, that Into Darkness comes in after that, which I actually like Into Darkness way more than Star Trek Beyond, but that's just me.
Nobody likes Star Trek Beyond. That's fascinating. All right, so this is number 2. Well, my dad was telling me that this movie was big when they announced it, because this was always talked about in the Star Trek lore was, first contact. When did humans first make contact? And, there's been non-canon stories, comic books, novels, however you want to call it. There was stuff, but nothing was canon. So to have this in this movie was, I don't know what the reference I can compare it to, but I guess this was a big deal in 1996 for this movie to come out. Which I actually, again, I dig that storyline more. The Borg Queen, she just wants to infect everybody, right? I mean, that's the point, right? Because she wanted to infect Data, so then Data would overpower Picard, so then Picard would become a Borg again, right? And then the Queen's just like, oh, Picard, if you join me, you'll be my partner, you'll be my space lover, and he's just like, no, I ain't gonna do that. But everybody likes the Borg Queen. Everybody likes queens, right? Like the band Queen, Borg Queen, the Alien Queen.
Oh yeah, nice. Well done.
Queen Elizabeth.
Well, maybe not.
Well, which one? Wait, hold on. What's the one that just died? Queen Elizabeth II? Was that it?
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth. I don't know what her number was, but
Everybody loved her.
no.
I mean, Diana didn't, but. And we saw what happened with that, right? So,
Yeah. Ask all the countries that were under England's rule what they thought of Queen.
she was just trying to help.
Sure.
Just like the Borg Queen. She's not trying to hurt. Resistance is futile. Just accept,
Oh
So-
man,
You like that one?
that's good. I like
Yeah.
it. I'm here for it.
I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. Fun fact that I read online is Whoopi Goldberg was a little pissed she wasn't in this movie because she's in the show. Did you know that? And
I didn't expect her to be in this, just because I didn't know if she was still in the show. But holy smokes!
well, she's pissed. She was pissed because she was just written out like nobody asked her. Because in the show, again, I don't know. So Star Trek fans are going to kill me for it, but I guess she has psychic abilities or something to where like she's in tune with the Borg in the show. Like anytime the Borg's in the show, Whoopi Goldberg is in the middle of it. And for the Borg to be in this, for this main villain to be the Borg, and for Whoopi Goldberg not to be in it, was shocking. She said she found out on IMDb. She said she found out walking down the street the poster, and she was like, "Oh." But she still had to do the show.
That's too bad.
Maybe the show ended by 1996. I think the show ended in 96. Before
Next
96.
Generation?
I think so. It started in the late 80s.
Well, Nemesis was in 02.
Right, but the show itself stopped. Fact check me. Hold on here. I'm gonna fact check myself. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Let's see here. It started in 1987, and it ended in 1994. How about them apples?
Lot
And
sooner
it-
than that time.
And ended in 1994. But where was Generations? Okay, so interesting. So Star Trek Generations, the one with William Shatner, came out in 1994, and that was the first movie of the Next Generation franchise, but it was the last season of the franchise. So that's interesting. So they did the series first, and then after the series was done, they did the movies, which I guess kind of makes sense. Right? Because you don't want to like do a movie and then do 3 seasons in between a movie, right? Because that's what Marvel's failing at right now.
Yeah, I could see that.
So you just want to end the series and be done with it. Okay, so what else? Oh, the best scene in the movie for me was the upside down spacewalk with
Oh, that was great.
that was great with the one dude and who was Picard, right? And then
And Worf.
Worf, yeah. Don't tell me his race. Don't tell me. Klingon.
Yes.
I was going to say Romulans, but it's Klingons. The upside down space battle was fun, right? They're walking upside down. The camera has to turn so they're right side up, and which is kind of a mind screw in a way because it's like the scene starts with them walking upside down, and what's his name? Worf.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I'm not doing too good, Picard. This is upsetting my stomach, and the camera turns. This whole thing is done upside down, not in reality, but in the sake of the movie, it is. And I'm just like, that's kind of cool, right? Because as I'm watching them fight and do their thing, I'm just like, oh, that's right, they're upside down still. So I kind of dug that a little bit.
And they wasted no time. Is it Neil McDonough that's been in other stuff? He was in Suits. He's been in a lot of stuff here lately.
Right.
But he was just kind of a nobody actor back then, probably. Just getting eaten off by the Borg.
Right. And he turns quick, too, right? And then what were the Borg doing? The Borg were doing a satellite? They were, yeah, that's right. They're doing some sort of like a satellite signal to
They
the
wanted to
homeland.
communicate with the Borg of that time.
That's
Get them
right.
there.
To get them there, which they never would have gotten there in time, right? I mean, Picard's just too awesome. He's going to save the day.
Really too awesome.
Right. Get a nice little fight. I love that upside down spacewalk. I'm glad you do too. And then also, this is where on Earth they're getting ready to launch. What was that line that they said? I kind of dug the line where, like one of the Star Trek dudes, well, Enterprise dudes, he's in all the shows, said, can't do the line. I'm sorry. I don't know the line. But something along the lines of, I'm not a great man, I'm just a man kind of thing. And then the dude's like, who said that? And he's like, you did. Oh. You know, and then
Oh man, I wish I remembered the wording of it.
that was a nice little line, right? And then they launch. Of course, I kept on thinking, is this thing going to crash? I mean, like, this thing is literally a nuclear warhead. This guy lives in a shanty town. How did you get the technology to do this? What technology did they have in World War III? This is impressive. Like, these guys are not freaking out. Not Data, but the guy with the glasses around his eyes. He has fake eyes in this movie. But he was in the spaceship, too. I was like, these guys aren't freaking out that this guy's going to crash this thing? And then, the little wings come out, so it looks like the Enterprise, right? It's like, oh, it's the baby Enterprise. Got it.
Which I gotta go back and watch Into Darkness because there's a scene where they show all of the ships that were ever considered Enterprise ships, and I want to say that's included. That ship was a model on this guy's desk.
If that's true, if that's cool.
Federation.
That would be really cool. Oh, the guy's desk. I know who that guy is. That's RoboCop.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I have a really big question.
Yes.
And I don't know if I want to jump. If I'm jumping the gun, and if I'm jumping the gun, cut me off.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be a large bag of popcorn for you?
No. So you're asking me for a popcorn rating. Okay. I'll give this one a small. Not a Star Trek guy. I thought the story ideas were cool, but I did find it to be a little drawn out, a little draggy. I found myself caring about one story more than the other, which I guess is fine because that's what movies kind of do, right? But I thought the Borg was fun too. The Borg Queen was great. I guess I wish I was this age in 1996 because then maybe I would just love the Borg Queen like my dad did. But like, she didn't seem that special to me, right? She was just, I don't know. Like, she was cool. It's just, But I did like the Vulcans coming at the end, and this gives us a whole idea, like you said, Chad, of world building, right? Of, oh, this was the first time the humans made first contact. Okay, I got it. The name of the movie. Got it, So yeah, small bag for me. So then, Chad, what is your popcorn rating for Star Trek First Contact?
So I struggled. I felt like I was going back and forth a few times because there were times in the movie where I was like, "Oh man, this is great for the time. I'm going to give this a big bag." I'm actually going with a medium, and I think the reason I'm giving it maybe a little bit more credit is because I remember 1996 fairly well, and had I watched it back then, I would have absolutely eaten it up. Now, obviously, different time, different context. I'm a grown man, but I still found myself enjoying every part of it. Even the parts that were a little campy, a little out there, that were more for the bigger Trek fans in the movie, specifically, callbacks to other pieces, other stories. I gave it a pass on those, and I think that's why it was easier for me to give it a medium than a small.
Okay.
But I think when I think of movies and entertainment, this is probably how stuff gets rebooted, right? Because it was great at one time, and then you watch it years and years and years and later, and it's like, oh man, it doesn't stand up as well. We should reboot this. I'm not saying that's obviously the only reason they reboot stuff, right? But it's hard to compare it to today's movies because it's so story driven. It depends on a lot of other elements that if you don't know, you might miss out. You might not enjoy it as much. A little bit like Marvel does sometimes. If you didn't watch all the shows and all the movies prior to whatever you're watching right there that second, you might not as enjoy it. It might not enjoy it as much.
I totally agree with you because I rely on Eric for the shows because I haven't watched a single thing. I watched WandaVision and that was it. I didn't even know there was a Loki season 2. So, like, when I watch a movie and it's like they talked about this in a show, I'm just like, what? Lost. Completely lost. What is good about this movie, though, Chad, is like, I don't have to be a Trek fan. I don't have to watch all the episodes of the show to, like, just enjoy the movie, right? I mean, this is a standalone movie. To me, this could be a standalone movie. I got everything I could. If this was the first movie in a franchise, got it. Humans make first contact. There's this Borg and this evil queen lady that's trying to, turn everybody. Got it. I don't need anything else. No. Yeah.
I can appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of other analysis that's due. I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for any overarching themes like I did with maybe the other two flicks, because I knew this. I put the movie in the context of the time, and I think movies were worse in the 90s.
Well, hold on. I mean, there's a few good ones, but all right. Well, I guess that concludes our first episode for Sci-Fi Love Eye with Star Trek. Of course, we do these once a month, so be on the lookout for the new one coming out in January. All right, you know what it is, Chad, but they don't.
Oh, I'm looking at the schedule. Yes,
he's excited.
I've been looking for a reason to rewatch this, and
you're going to now. But everybody who is listening, make sure to check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com, on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast from. We are on that platform. Chad, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be back next Thursday for another awesome episode. Have a good night. This is actually a blessing because now the program is going to be turned around. and kick the living crap out of you guys.
Oh.
Tom Brady's going to come in off his white horse and save the day. He's going to be the new AD.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
I love it.
I hope you do love it. Well, I'm sorry you had a bad 24 hours. I guess you didn't take it, that you didn't listen to Smashing Machine then, your first episode.
No.
With everything that was going down.
No, I was a little occupied, but
But buddy, look at your commitment though. You're committed.
Yeah.
You got on, and you're ready to do a show, even after all the bullshit.
hell yeah.
I shat myself during the show one time.
You did?
100%.
Yeah.
I was sick. Long time ago. Hell, I did a show the day my grandfather died.
Damn.
Show has to go on, bud. Have to present. Have to.
Oh boy.
Lisa, I don't care if Rudolph is fucking on right now. I don't care, Lisa.
We should have an episode where we just unpack you and your mother's relationship.